everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Narayan Rao Kovur. Today in this video we will discuss G20 Leaders Summit 2022. So what is the background of G20 Leaders Summit 2022 and what are the basic details? Now we are going to discuss. The G20 Leaders Summit 2022 conducted at Bali, Indonesia. Dates 15th-16th November 2022. So this G20 Leaders Summit focused on global economic recovery, trade, and supply chain stability. This summit mainly focused on global economic recovery, trade, and supply chain stability. Now, first of all, call to action. Call to action. The World Trade Organization Director General Nonji Okonjo-Iweala the Director General of World Trade Organization at that time. He urged G20 members. The Director General urged G20 members to build on commitments made at the 12th World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference. That is one. So to build on commitments made at the 12th World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference. Second one, to maintain open and predictable markets, especially for food and fertilizers. To maintain open and predictable markets, especially for food and fertilizers. Next, increase in trade restrictions. Increase in trade restrictions. Since 2020, the World Trade Organization members have increased import and export restrictions due to some reasons. Since 2020, the World Trade Organization members have increased import and export restrictions due to one is COVID-19 pandemic. Second one is Russia-Ukraine war. Third one is global food crisis. Because of three reasons, so the World Trade Organization members have increased import and export restrictions. What are the reasons? COVID-19 pandemic, Russia-Ukraine war, and global food crisis. Next, removal of trade restrictions. Removal of trade restrictions. Some trade restrictions have been lifted or removed by G20 countries to support global trade. In order to support the global trade, the G20 countries have been lifted some trade restrictions. That is called removal of trade restrictions. Next, supply chain resilience. Supply chain resilience. Global supply chains have been relatively resilient. Global supply chains have been relatively resilient but affected by some factors. The factors are Russia-Ukraine war, lingering COVID-19 effects, high inflation, monetary tightening by the central bank. Because of these factors, the global supply chain have been relatively resilient, but affected by these factors: Russia Ukraine war, lingering COVID 19 effects, high inflation, and monetary tightening by the central banks. Next, negative trade trends. Negative trade trends. Export restrictions have contributed to global shortages, price volatility, frequently changes, price volatility, increased uncertainty in markets, increased uncertainty in markets. These three are the negative trade trends. Next, trade remedies. What are the trade remedies? Anti-dumping measures continue to the most frequently used trade remedy by the countries. The G20 leaders taken anti-dumping measures to continue the most frequently used trade remedy by the countries. Anti-dumping measures are imposed additional duty on import goods sold at below normal value or unfair low prices in order to protect the domestic industries. So, trade protections taken by a country to impose additional duty on import goods sold at below normal value in order to protect the domestic industries. This is called anti-dumping measures. Anti-dumping measures are India on Chinese steel, India on Chinese chemicals, caustic soda and phenol, India on toys, India on tires, India on Chinese solar panels. Best example for anti-dumping measures. Anti-dumping measures. These measures taken by a country to protect the domestic industries. To protect the domestic industries. Next. So, G20 members. G20 members means in that summit, in that group, there are 20 countries are there. That is called G20 members. The G20 members are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, European Union, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa, Turkey, UK, and USA. These are the G20 member countries, or G20 leaders, or G20 members. Next, what is the conclusion? So, G20 Leaders Summit 2022 emphasized open trade, supply chain resilience, and global economic stability. The summit emphasized mainly open trade, supply chain resilience, and global economic stability. So, these are the basic details of basic information of G20 Leaders Summit 2022. So, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and comment.